What's up? Lions win 35-17 versus the New York Giants. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with Colossal Sports News and Entertainment, and I'm here to break down what I've seen from this magnificent Lions victory tonight. And first thing I have to take my hat off to Matthew Stafford. He threw the ball away and then tried to force it in there. His footwork looked a lot better. He looked a lot better in shape. His legs looked more alive in the fourth quarter. He was moving around the pocket well, scrambling on scramble drills, making plays. You could tell he very integrated his legs into his throwing motion. Now he's not just throwing with all arm, and he was accurate and he was on point tonight. And I think that's the final key to make one of the final keys to make the Lions a regular playoff contender. The way he played, it gives Detroit Lions something to look forward to in the future. And if he could play like that all year, the Detroit Lions team is going to be a dangerous team to deal with, along with all the weapons they got. And they was missing their number one slot guy and their number two slot guy, Ryan Bros and Kevin Ogletree. Ogletree is the number one slot guy, and then Bros is the number two. So imagine if they get those guys back on offense. Imagine what they do. And then second to my hats off is the Detroit Lions defense. They played lights out defense tonight. A couple of penalties put them in awkward positions and let drives keep going and let them score a touchdown, a couple of petty touchdowns. But the most part, the secondary looked pretty nice. They played a lot of zone. They sent some blitzes. Slay held up. He made a couple plays on the ball. Neville Lawson came in for Bill Bentley and held his own. And Rasheed Mathis held his own last night. I think he had the best cover. The best coverage of all night was Rasheed Mathis. Then you had Glover Quinn making interceptions, Levy making interceptions, and Stephen Tulloch was a man amongst boys and making tackles tonight. Uh, Levy was good in pass coverage, and the Detroit Lions line, the second team line, was just ferocious along with the first team line. And that's what you want to see from Detroit Lions. You want to see that line live up to the billing, live up to the name. And you want to see the Detroit Lions defense be more solid. And they still were lights out on third down defense, which they was number one in the league last year. And they showed a lot of potential what they can keep growing on, especially the defense, and see what they can get when they get their starters back in, and see what they can do. Um, Only thing that I didn't like was I didn't like the penalties that the Lions was getting early, but they shaved them down in the second half, and I didn't like the way the running game was looking, but the Lions, maybe the New York Giants are known for good defensive lines, and the Lions are still have to work out that kink in that offense on running the ball to get consistent on what works and what doesn't work. And I guess they're still feeling their way out, feeling their way out in the offense and seeing what does work and what doesn't work. So the Lions are pretty much those are the two things I seen that I didn't like was the penalties in the first half and the ability to run the ball. But in the second half, they cleaned up on the penalties and they ran the ball a lot better. And for the MVP of this game, I have to give it to Matthew Stafford. He balled out. A terrific quarterback play today. Calvin Johnson was a close second, and I was very encouraged by the play call, how it was balanced. It wasn't my last thing that I liked. It was the play call was balanced. It wasn't all run or all pass. Joe Lombardi consistently ran the ball, no matter if it didn't work or if it worked or was losing yards. He was consistently running the ball to so the defense just couldn't key on the run and the pass. Had to be prepared for both of them. So that's one thing I like from Joe Lombardi. He was a third MVP because he called a beautiful game. And Terrell Austin called a beautiful game on defense, and he didn't really tinker with the Lions' third down defense. He probably kept it basic from last year. They sent a couple of blitzes on third down early in the game, and I think he just got more comfortable about playing zone and playing and keying in on your zone reads and all that stuff, and making plays on the ball when they up in the air, making plays in the defender. So overall, it was a good night for Detroit Lions. This your boy CJ Goodfella. Lions win 35-14 to the New York Giants. We gone.